Welcome to video number 7, content creation strategy number 4. We're going to be discussing discussions and how you can utilize those with content creation to increase your traffic. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be using Storify just as we did in the previous video with the news strategy. But in this case, we're going to be using social media as part of the discussion strategy. So you can actually use discussion, meaning people are talking about a specific topic. They're passionate about a specific topic. They might already even be an expert on a specific topic. Now you got to realize that we're not trying to just choose and pick discussion just because people are discussing. You need to choose social media discussions that relate to your end goal. So you need to really think clearly, okay, what kind of discussion would really get somebody into a passionate mood in the mindset that I want them to get into, that specific mindset, to get them to the point where they take action. They buy my products or services, or they sign up on my list, or they take action and get access to a CPA offer that I'm offering, or some sort of other affiliate product. So what is that end goal? Now with Storify, I like Storify simply because they offer immediately, you can find feeds from Twitter, you can find information from Tumblr, Facebook, Google+, YouTube, Flickr, Instagram, Google, and other places. If you click on this plus sign, you'll actually be able to find other available sources as well, such as SoundCloud if you like music, Disqus, StockTwits, RSS feeds as well. So this really enables you to have access to a lot of different social media outlets. So let's say, for example, that I'm going to stick with Twitter. What I like about this tool is you really can create a story and add value at the same time. So just under the Twitter tab itself, you can see that you can search. You can do a search for images. You can look for timelines, a specific user. If you have a particular user that you want to enter their information, maybe they are an expert in that specific field. You can list and you can choose your favorites. So let's say, for example, that let's take the survival topic that we used in the previous video with the news strategy. But in this case, we're going to type in survivalism and click on enter and see what we get. Okay, so I paused this video and did a search on it. And if you click on search and I type in survival tips instead of survivalism, we can see sometimes it'll time out, but you just got to click it again. Okay, so we did the search here, we have the images here. Your goal is to basically find content that relates to whatever you're trying to promote. Now, one thing I want to say is that you want to avoid looking like a spammer or a salesperson. So what I mean by that is that if you put some value here and create a reaction that's of value, then that's a good way to curate content. So very similar to the news strategy, but in this case, we're just using social media discussions. So if I were to copy this over and change my topic from survivalism to nature survivalism, I could say something like how to survive the wilderness. And sometimes it really depends on what you want to do in your audience. Sometimes you can start out with something funny, something scary, something, whatever that your audience would relate to. So if I did have a video course or some sort of ebook or how-to information on how to survive the wilderness, I could do that. So tips, top 10 tips on surviving in the forest. So what I could do is I could go back over here and see what we kind of get in terms of discussion. So this one here has a guy that is in front of a fire. So I could say something like, number 1, how to start a fire, blah, blah, blah. And then I can have a picture that relates to this. And then below that, I have a response. So you see what I'm saying here? How we would not survive the wilderness, blah, 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 blah. So you can do a mixture of stuff. You can even do a search for just people talking. So you can move this up here. So as you can see, I'm trying to tell a story. The story is basically, ever wonder if you'd be able to survive the wilderness, blah, blah, blah. They look at this bear here. And you really have to differentiate, okay, what's your reaction and how does it differ from this? Because you can use a similar method that I taught you earlier about the top 10, end results. If you can show the end result or the what and the why, and then your product is the how, then that's a good way to sell and get people to take action. Because if you're just doing the what and the why and that's it, and all of this is the what and the why, then there's really no way of differentiating the difference between your reaction and what's already up here. So we talk about how to survive the wilderness. You got a picture of a bear, how to start a fire, and you maybe give a few tidbits, but then down below you say something like, if you really, really want to learn how to start a fire in detail with this video course, click here and I'll show you how to do that. So as you can see, that's just a great way to curate discussions with Twitter. You can do the same thing with Facebook. You can do the same thing with Google+, with YouTube, find videos that relate to surviving the wilderness. You can find images on Flickr, images on Instagram, and other discussions as well through Google.